Okay, let's get this cracking on then. Let's see what's going on. Start the morning routine. You know how it is. We start a cigarette before we even get cracking, and then we get shit going as it is. Let's have a look what's going on then. But Bitcoin and Ethereum, what the fuck's going on in it? It's fucking crazy, isn't it? What's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. Welcome to the next episode of Denk's Daily Trades. You know how we do over here. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed and you want to check us out and see what's going on. And you'll have a reason why. I don't need to say much as well. The shit we do this on a daily basis as well. So we've been killing the market, bear market, bull market, whatever you want to call it. You know, short term, long term. You know, scalps, day trades. We've been doing this for a joke now, and it's actually become quite a pattern as it is. And look, price is always in a range, and it's always going to be in a motherfucking range. Nothing changes as well. You can call it at the beginning of the bear market, the end of the bear market, whatever, but it's still a fucking bear market, isn't it? Still a motherfucking bear market. There's no point you telling me about, oh yeah, calling the tops and dollar index every single day. Doesn't make a freaking difference. We talked about it last week. We said about how dollar index is actually bullish. I was looking at 113, 115, pull back from that area, then 120 is on the table. It is in a range, like I say, price is always in a range. It is in a range, and the range is bullish on dollar index. The way you look at Bitcoin last year is the same way you gotta look at dollar index. So you gotta reverse the way you view Bitcoin as well. So don't get me wrong. I would have wanted 26k, 28k. I would have wanted that on Bitcoin and then smack it down. Everyone's wanting that, to be honest. It just seems that it's not going to give us that price action. We looked at yesterday in terms of the strength of ES and BTC. Someone in the chat actually told me it was BTC USD slash ES. Shout out to that person. I can't remember who it was, but you made it easy for me, and we saw it quite clearly that it was looking shit. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's do some shout outs to all you guys over here. Let's see who we got here, man. So we got Crypto Cruise Morning, my brother. We got Justin, we got Joel F. How you doing, my bro? Final Country Club's always here every single day. Shout out to him. We got Derry here. We got Rank Brian. Good to have you here as well. It's true. It doesn't matter as long as we're in that range bound environment. We're always going to be in a range bound environment, no matter. And I'll show it to you. I'll show you like what I'm looking at, and I will make a plan. I'll show you the view that I'm seeing. It's like when you plug into the matrix kind of thing, you start seeing how price is going to behave, how price could behave, and you're just watching these levels. Remember the tweet I talked about how it's key areas, key levels you're looking for to short the market. It's the same thing. It's the same thing really as well. So we're gonna look at that and make plans going forward. We had there was a guy called Khalil on Twitter messaged me asking me like, should you buy any alts and stuff like that, and I said nah, don't buy any alts. Look at EPTC. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's looking fucking shit. But that's how it is, isn't it? What can I say? We've got Art Gemini. How you doing? Yeah, the country club has a new logo. I designed that yesterday night. I was just playing around with a couple of designs, like on my notepad and whatnot. Did a bunch of different designs. I just wanted something a bit more slick in it. Something that's a bit easy on the eyes. A bit more professional kind of thing. So what's the new logo range band? What a geezer. He's such a geezer though. Yeah, I think we got more puking, but we can't just say yet. We are at support on July's range. There's a few things we're gonna look at. Either we're gonna go back into August's low, or we're gonna go into June's low. So which one we're gonna go to? We'll see what's up in it. We got Bam Bam. We got Marta. How you doing, Marta? Morning to you. We got Piotr. Yeah, you're never late, my bro. Critiques in the house as well. Vegeta, morning to you. Steam 788. How you doing, my brother? And we got Thomas. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Yeah, I had a haircut, man. I was looking like a freaking hobo. I was saying to the guys, I was looking like a fucking hobo. So I gotta look good. Cigarette, no coffee. Oh, I've already had my coffee in the morning. I just have another cigarette now. Cigarette of choice. Benson's. Benson's Gold. I am smoking Marlboro right now, only because I went to Turkey and Mexico, and so I got duty-free cigarettes as well. And I do like these like double fusion kind of stuff as well, so I'm smoking that. We got Ed, walaikum salam, Jordan running somewhere, Wim, we got Joel, we got Marco, we got Kenneth, we got Ning. Afternoon, morning to all you guys around the world. So let's see what's going on with terms of crypto, and we'll just make a new plan. So crypto as it is, well, we've clearly lost not only Monday's low, right? And I was talking about this, the liquidity over here. I've been talking about this for a few days. We need to take out this liquidity. I'm not a fan of that. In all honesty, I was looking at potential a replay of this, right? Potential of a replay of what happened over here, how we pushed up, right? But somewhere along the lines on a smaller scale. No way was it going to be on a macro scale. But it just never gave it to us. So, I mean, like, if you remember, I talked about the Ethereum short. I had an Ethereum short yesterday. We talked about the plan. And the plan was quite simple. What I discussed yesterday was simply this. See this area of consolidation right over here, right? I don't know. I think, yeah, it's about there. Yeah, this whole area of consolidation approximately. That was the last consolidation which sent the market down low. So there was two sets of things, right? Number one, the first one which I was concerned about is this one. I wanted a retest of this really as well. Didn't really give it to us, and that's why we got that wick. I didn't enter over here. I was waiting for it. Then my next set I was looking at was about was from this low here. That's what I was looking at, from this low itself. Yeah, I said, okay, if we start rejecting off that, because that's what's happening. If you look at it this way, you can see. Let me just go on a smaller time frame, 1 hour. So quick recap, and you can see price. Just like, look, this is what I was looking for. Fuck off. Yeah, this is what I was looking for, right? Price to come back into this area here. Just how we did. Consolidation, breakdown, retest, broke down, retest, and it swung all the way down. And we start curving all the way up there. And I was like looking for another retest off here. Potentially come to 1700, break down, and then I can enter the short and I put my stop loss here. Okay, that's what I was looking for originally. Instead, price was getting capped somewhere, right? So if you look at this, right? You see this? That's all capped. Capped at where? And I start looking at it. I was like, where the fuck is it getting capped at now? Because something's not right here. Because it's showing me weakness. And if I were to draw a line across, right, you can see that this area of consolidation over here is actually the thing that's capping the market. Can you see that? Resistance, resistance. We get up, deviates it, gets up, holds above it, comes back below, takes that one more shots of this block here and sells off. So I'm like, okay then, if I'm wrong, right, if I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong off this, right? And my stop loss will have to be on the high over here. Because that was the last retest there. And if I wasn't stopped out, I mean, to be honest, right, the safest bet is above this wick over here. That was your safest bet. That's your invalidation, right? My stop loss was different. My stop loss was based off this wick over here. You know, there's too many X's and shit like that over here. Let me just start removing some of this stuff. Yeah, so my stop loss was based on here, but your invalidation is here. I'm completely wrong there because price can come back in here, take me out, and still break down and then do this. That's what it was looking like. But the fact that we keep rejecting off this, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to enter in now. Stop loss here. It looks like it's not looking good because if it was supposed to be bullish, we should have reclaimed it and then start tapping into it. But we're finding resistance so many fucking time. And that's where SR comes into place here. And the SR was telling me it's at major resistance, right? It's not going to come over here. Take a short. Stop loss here. Let's go level to level. And I said target 1 was here. Target 2 was there. That's what I was looking at. Nothing else. And I was saying that if we come back, reclaim, hold this level, then we can go up to here. And then we'll see how we react off this level. That's what I was looking for. Instead, it didn't do that. It didn't do that. Which is why it comes down to, do you remember like the day before on the Monday, I took a long from here. I took a long off this SR over here. And my target was literally off here. That's what it was. I didn't look for anything more. And it played up, come back down, and here we go. So now we're looking at, so if you took the shorts on Ethereum on this, right, happy days, you know, you did really well there. And, you know, played out really well. To be honest, it played out a lot better than I expected. I really thought monthly open, we're going to get some sort of support and maybe come into this area here, right? So something like this. This is what I was really thinking of. So you see this area there, right, where I took the profits originally. Something like this, come back here, come into this area there, maybe a retest of that, of this low over here. For example, I'll take the short stop loss over here, play it back down to monthly open and see how we react if we get back into the range. Never did that, and he just fucking fell into the range. He fell back into that last week's Monday's range, and now, whoops, I'll explain this. This bit I'll explain in a bit. This is going to be interesting. So then I start looking at this then. I was watching it. Come back, right? Because we tapped into it at 9 o'clock, right? And I'm like, all right, then cool. Came into this area here, and it starts being heavy. I'm like, I don't like this then. So we're going to come back to monthly open or potentially Monday's high and find some support. Tomorrow, which is today, I'll look at how we're going to play. But went to bed, and next thing is fucking came into the Monday's range. Tagged off where? Monday's mid-range. So if I were to extend this, right, and you can start seeing things a little bit more clearly. Can you see how perfect that Monday's mid-range is? Back to where? The consolidation of this area here, which was the last low that's in the market back up. So now we're over here. We're in critical point in terms of when it comes to Ethereum. Ethereum is looking absolutely weak in my opinion. I think this is it. I think that's it. I think the merger's price has already come into place. It's a scam. It's a fucking scam. I saw a tweet about like, well, I'm seeing tweets, a lot of tweets saying about how it's going to be energy efficient and this and that, 99% less energy consumption, this and all that bullshit. No one gives a flying fuck. Honestly, you can tell me how Ethereum's going to save cancer, but no one gives a flying fuck. The real world out there is looking at what dollar index is doing, looking at what the stock market is doing, and that's it. There's not many people in cryptocurrency come into the world. It's harsh. It's a harsh reality, but that's the truth. There's 7 billion people in the world. All right, we have trillions and trillions of dollars pumped into the stock market, into currency, into the bond market, the lot. We have less than 1 trillion, less than a trillion. I'll show you. Fuck it. Let's go. And what's it called? Coin market cap. How much money do we have in the market right now? Here we go. Global market. Close this. Global market, you can see in crypto market, it's less than a trillion. 940 billion. What's so fucking special about crypto? Like, as if it's gonna go any higher. It's not. That 1 trillion market it's been a fucking disaster, you know? So what's gonna happen? Well, we don't know. We make the plans. Before we carry on though, before I forget, I want to give a quick shout out to my to the partners of Delta Exchange. They're the partnership of this stream. It is going to be the last partnership I have with Delta Exchange. So shout out to these guys. Thank you so much for actually sponsoring the episode of the last couple of weeks and well, 2 months really as well. Really appreciate them as well. Being part of the team with Trader Tank. So I did used to trade off them Delta Exchange. So we got a decent amount of volume. You can see 440 million, and you can actually trade off your phone or even on Google as well. So they've been good. They've been really good to me as well, and I've never had any issues with them. So yeah, so shout out to Delta Exchange. So yeah, that's it with these guys. They're really good. They're freaking good. I can say. I mean, you got options. You can see the top gainers, the top losers. I mean, even if you look at the highest volume right now. It's all the focus is really Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can see right here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB. I wouldn't really say that much of BNB, but look at the volume here. 24-hour volume, 76 million, 34 million on Delta Exchange, and compared to BNB, no one gives a shit about alts. Fuck off. What's going on here? Yeah, no one gives a shit about alts because look how small the figures are in terms of the volume. No one cares. The focus really is on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let shit happen. Let it do its thing. You can short your alts 100%, right? But in terms of actually having like a bull market, it's not gonna come. In my opinion, it's not gonna come. Not anytime soon. But yeah, that's Delta Exchange. So big love to these guys. So going back to where are we? Let's go back into Ethereum. And now you can see Ethereum. I mean, what's going on over here? Arquiliano. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Why didn't you wait for the retest? How did you decide to enter before main target? Well, I told you. So why did I not wait for a retest? Well, he never gave us the retest, right? Number one. This was the retest. I would have liked it over here, right? I wouldn't mind this. But the SR was telling me otherwise. So if you look at, it was based off this. That low was capping the market. You see, and because it was showing us resistance, 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 resistance. It was showing us resistance every time. We didn't have an hourly close above the candle, and because we didn't have an hourly close, there was no need for me to wait for no retest. So I'm like, okay, if I'm wrong here. Invalidation is actually here. So you could have entered the trade over here, based off this, with an invalidation of here, based off this, and still make the trade. Go to these targets there, and well, target 1 and then target 2. So it comes with a bit of an experience there. To be honest, I didn't really expect many people to pick this one out. It was a little tricky one as well, to be honest, because I was watching it for quite some time. Because what happened was yesterday, I went shopping with my mom, came back. I had this level, like, because I was seeing this already. It was just like resistance, resistance, and I was like, okay, we're gonna pop into it, pop there, and then break down, and then here we go. So when I came back around 2:30, I think about just 2:30, yeah, 2:30, I came back. My mom was making a cup of tea, and she's like, what are you looking at? I go, Mom, look at this, innit? I go to my mom, look at this. Does this look good? She's like, I don't know, you know what I'm talking. She's like, I don't know what you're looking at. I go, no, man, like, have a look at this. Does this look like? I go to my mom. You tell me, in it, for someone who has no experience, right? Does this look like? Does this look good? She's like, but why? She goes to me. This is literally what her words are. She's like, but why is it all like these thin lines over here? I go, that's resistance, ma. And she's like, resistance. I'm like, yeah, the price is gonna break down. She's like, how do you know this? I'm like, then I start breaking it down to her and I start showing it to her for like good 2-3 minutes. And she goes to me, she's like, this is what she goes. She goes, son, I think it's time to take a trade. I go, what? Mom goes to me, I think it's time to take a trade. I go, what? She's like, yeah. She's like, you're telling me that if this is resistance and you're not coming into this area, but then why don't you take the trade and you you go down to where your targets are? And I'm like, so I go to my mom. So I'm now just kind of, I was taking a piss out of her a little bit as well, to be honest, in all fairness. I was literally trying to have a bit of a joke with her. I go, but ma, but what if you're wrong? She was like, yeah, but wait. She's like, how do you cut the trade? I go, I told her about stop losses, isn't it? So I go to her, where would you place your stop loss, here or here? She told me here. She goes to me here. I go, you know what, ma? Because I'm better than you, I'm gonna go here. And she looked at me. She's like, I hope you get stopped out. She goes, I hope you get stopped out. She did not like that. I go to her that I'm better than you. So I phoned her out. One target hit. I go, ma, I'm gonna send you some money. She's like, what do you mean? She was like, you already sent me some. I'm like, ma, I'm gonna send you some money. One target hit. We're good, ma. So bless her. Then she started telling me she wants a new washing machine. I'm like, fuck. So bless my mom. So now I gotta go later buy a washing machine for my mom now. But that's it. But yeah, when's mom's club? Freaking and now she'll tell you guys to place a stop at invalidation. I'm telling you to place a stop over here. But yeah. So, but now literally, she literally was saying that to me as well. She was like, it was jokes to me, and like quite soon after I was watching this, right, and she was sitting over here. I got a beanbag over here, massive ass, big ass beanbag. She was sitting there, and she was telling me about her story of in Mauritius and whatever. She wants to go back X, Y, and Z, and I wasn't listening to her. I'm gonna be honest here. I did not listen to a single word she said because I was focusing on this. Because I was looking for, if I'm wrong, right, this is how I was looking at it. 50 minutes, right, and even on the 50 minutes, it showed us that we had a deviation, and this was the one of the first key things for me to say, okay, this is not looking good. The deviation while I was away. Come back there, find support off this. I'm like, okay, so we're range bound in this area, but we're still finding resistance here. And do you remember when I said to you, price is always in a range? But look over here. If I were to delete all this, and if I were to focus on the area of where we're doing, or where we're focusing on, you can see price is literally in a goddamn range. See this high, cap of the market, and you see this candle over here, this cap of the market. Price was in a range over here, and all it was had a deviation there, and we found support. When we found support there, and we started finding resistance on this area, so I entered here. I was tempted. I'll be honest with you. I was tempted to take a scalp with a stop loss over here, playing it back to range low. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do the swing trade, and here we go. And that was it. So under the Denks Country Club, as we go, we'll talk about this a bit more in detail. But hopefully that helps you guys understand a few things. It's not always just about ranges, right? Ranges is a big factor how I play. But there's also an element of support and resistance and different elements of blocks and all the bullish order blocks, bearish order blocks, and all these kind of things. Whatever you want to name them, there's a bunch of elements that come down to it together. So Let her join the stream. Nah, she doesn't want to join the stream. She doesn't want to show her face. I was telling her, I was like, you might as well chill with me. And then she was like, do you swear? I go, nah, I don't swear, man. So, but the thing is, if she ever wants to decide to come and join me and sit with me as well, I can't swear. I can't swear. Not in front of my mom. But yeah. So that's the trade for Ethereum that we took yesterday. And happy days. We're now in Monday's range, and now we got to ask yourself, we're back in this range. The fuck you doing back in this range, right? We always ask ourselves this over and over again. It's the same thing. We're finding resistance on the 25%, but more importantly, this is now this area here. Here is what's the next key thing, right? So what we got here is an SR. We got a deviation support. Now we've got a deviation. If it was to come back here and hold above it, reclaim. Let's go back to monthly open, potentially into this lows over here, monthly open, and then range high. And then we'll see how it works. So that's it. Oh, actually, let's fucking do Ethereum. Let's do Ethereum right now. Let's do Ethereum because I think Ethereum will give us the most gains in terms of actually shorting it. Reason why, before you even touch Ethereum, let me talk about ETH BTC. What's happened here? What's happened here? Does this not look familiar to what I showed you? Right? Do you remember this? Where's my Twitter profile? Do you remember this? The key in a bear market is not to focus on higher prices, observing key areas for rejection to short. In the bull market, your observation is key areas for support to long. Enough said. So I don't know what to say. I mean, yeah, we were looking at macro bullish. Yeah, 100%. I agreed. Even I was looking at potential bullish plays as well on Bitcoin, but it didn't give us anything of that sort, which is why I took a short yesterday, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's another story there. So looking at profile, let's go down to, where was I looking for? Here we go. Do you remember this? This chart here, right? Look at this. Look at what this consolidation that you see over here, right? You see this consolidation right here? Well, let's just highlight that and look at where we are right now, right? We're going to, no. There we go. Get this. This is the high and this is the low, and look where we are. We'll come underneath it now, and now we may come into this area here, break down. The moment we lose this low over here, maybe get a quick retest, lose this low. That's your confirmation. Off we go, and let's go down to level, and I'd say straight down to this area here. 75% of the range. Work your way down from 75 back down all the way to mid range, taking out all this liquidity here. I think it's over. I think it's over now. There's no coming back now. I mean, your influencers might say to you, dollar's gonna actually, it's topped out. It's not gonna top out for shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is it, right? If you want to take the shorts on ETH BTC, your invalidation is where above the high over here. That's where you're completely wrong. Once we do something like this and break down and lose this low over here, this is now becomes your trigger, right? That's your confirmation, and I can take a stop loss above the box over here, right? Above the box, above this high here. I'll be quite happy to play this again. Invalidations here because we might get a spike up. But I'm playing it back down to 75% of the range, break down, lose this low over here, go into this area there, get a reaction back here, and then lose this low here, and then go back to mid-range. And then from the mid-range, I generally believe that this is it. We're going to go a lot more lower all the way back down to range low. Why do I think it's going to go back to range low? Well, this is it. So if I do this, right, let me just unlock this for a second and pull this out of that, and let's lock this up here. Well, you can see prices from high to low, low to high, high to low, low to high, and we're just bouncing off here. So which means we come into here. I mean, ideally, initial targets is here. That's the first thing. Well, we have to look at the mid-range because we see how it goes. We might get a pull back into this area like that, do a bit of a deviation, come back down, and then lose this, and let's shank it back down into this area. This is the first into this. This is an SR there. Look, you can clearly see this fucking SR right there. You can't tell me otherwise, right? You see this low over here? Look at that. I mean, let's actually, you know what? Fuck it. You see this original of the consolidation right there? Look what happened here. Yes, we found some sort of support. Support here. Support here. We're coming to the range. We lost it, found it resistance, and we got back up. But we never retested this area here. So where were we going to retest? If we're going to start, shanking back down, right from the mid-range, where we're going to retest? At least it is. Fill out all this inefficiency right here. You know what I'm saying? So you got all this movement over here to a minimum, to a very minimum, right? Off this high. That's the minimum. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do a trend line, let's do a trend line. And you want more confirmation, let it do its thing, right? Let it do its thing. The moment it starts losing this trend line, you know what's going to happen. Play it back down, all the way down to the base of where the original consolidation is, which is here. So ETH is not looking good. It's going to shank the hardest. So now we're going to focus on shorting ETH then, if you ask me, more than Bitcoin. So, I mean, what do you guys think? You tell me. What do you reckon? I want to know what you guys reckon. Nah, can we short it? No, don't short. Look, if you're gonna short it now, you're gonna have invalidation, right? And where's invalidation? I say, look, from the daily, right? If you want to play this blindly, right? I wouldn't play this blindly, in all honesty, right? You're completely wrong here because that is the previous deviation here that we're finding resistance of there, right? So if I were to, let's see, did it even respect? No, I didn't even respect it actually. You see this area here? We didn't even come into this area. I would have liked it, but all we've done, we didn't stop run. So you see this high here? Actually, we didn't even fucking stop run that shit. So really and truly, it's coming off this. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's coming off this. This high here, that's where it's coming off. So we can get a retest there, break down, look for the lows off here, lose this low there, and that's now that's your confirmation. And then I can say, yeah, stop loss up here, right? That's where you be. But if you're gonna enter now, you have to put a stop loss here. Only because, right, we can come back and retest this consolidation here. We can actually range bound here a little bit longer. I'm just being realistic with you guys here. So where is my line? So this area here is what I'm looking for the confirmation. And then we can range bound off here for a little bit, retest this one more time, do something like that. You can do something like that and then break down, and then that's it. That's your confirmation. And whatever the high was, either this high or above the box, that will be your stop loss. That will be your invalidation, playing it a lot more lower. But if you're going to enter now, you have to put a stop loss here. You have to put it there wider, right, off this high. Only because we haven't really had any sort of confirmation. We haven't had this done yet. Without doing this, you can't go tight. If you want to go tight, you have to be prepared to get stopped out. But if you want higher probability, right now, high probability will be waiting for this, and then that's your probability confirmation for us to go a lot more lower. But if you want to enter now, and anyone wants to enter short, stop loss up here, just in case we may come into this block over here, in this area there. Does that make sense, everybody? So now that we've got this in mind, how are we going to look at Ethereum? So Ethereum, on the 15 minutes, let's have a look. It just can't reclaim this level, man. Fucking hell. Look, let's have a quick view, right? This 1700. Someone asked me on Twitter, right, the other day when I took a long, right? They were asking me, I think they had targets at 1750 or whatever they had, and they're like, what do I think about this chart? And I said, listen, right, you're gonna have major resistance at 1700. I'm done with the trade, to be honest, right? I was quite happy with it. I didn't really care about what happened next. I'm not here to spoon feed everyone in terms of, yeah, this is what you should do, and this is what I've done, and this is why I've done it. Everyone's entitled to think for themselves, but I did advise the person, I don't know if they actually cut the trade or not, to look at 1700 area. Around that area would have been your resistance. If they follow the stream, they would actually have a bit more information there, but didn't look good. If you look here, 1700 support, we lost this level, resistance, got into it, comes in there, now become a deviation. And if you look at, oh, fuck off, do you know what, let me hide this, let me do this, and you can see right here, resistance, that is now a lower high. So if just looking at market structure is already broken. We talked about this, right? Market structure was looking kind of terrible in my opinion. Let's go on the 4 hours. Yes, we had market structure going on the bullish side. Yes, I'm not going to disagree there. That's a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Sorry, high, high, higher low, higher low. Sorry. Yeah, market structure is low, high, high, higher low, high, high, higher low, and yada yada yada. So it topped off over here, and then once we lost this low, right? This is now your area of concentration, right? This is where you start looking at because you're taking out the lows, and you say, okay, whatever the bounce is, it could be up here, it could be up there, it could come up to here. Whatever the bounce is, you're looking for shorts. So breakdown, you're looking for shorts. And what happened was, this is the low. So this is the new lower low now. We made a new lower low over here, and we're coming up here, and now this is a high, a lower high. We can't take out this high there, and now where we're going to next, liquidity is resting off here. See what happens after that. Then liquidity there, and liquidity here, and liquidity there, and then liquidity right over here. You can see the map. You can see the map. You know, like there's a few guys. There was someone who was asking me about something like hyperblock or whatever it was, like looking at liquidity and stuff like that. You don't need all these indicators. You don't need all this malarkey. You just keep it simple. Everything's on the chart. You don't have to go through all this stuff. You want to make your life easier, right? Fine, do it. It's up to you. But you have to actually go and learn it. I'm not going to do that for you. I did try to, you know, try to understand it. And I was looking at this. I was looking at the hyperblock thing. And I'm like, well, I don't need this. Literally, if I use market structure, I can just follow what the market is doing and just follow where liquidity is going. That's what I had to do. Yes, it takes a little bit of work, but that's what we're trying to be. We're trying to be traders. What you're trying to be, you know, cheat the system. You can cheat the system, make like your life easy, but it's still got work to be done behind it. So, really and truly, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, right? So now we got this map in place right over here, and we're just now following what's going on. Just looking at this, right? We lose this low here, right? Come back as a retest off this consolidation over here. It's not a problem. Start breaking down. Then I know I can start targeting here, lose this low, and then target it here, right? And that's it. This is the mid-range. Price is bouncing to the mid-range over here, where we are. And I believe this is Monday's low. And we can start playing it from level to level, right? So that's one way of looking at it as well on Ethereum without any lines in any of that monarchy. But now bring up our lines. Let's see what's going on. And we can see we're back into the range. We're below monthly open. What does that mean? Bearish, right? Above. Oh, by the way, let me show you something as well. I actually want to show you this. I think I was quite proud of that, to be honest. Hide this. I can't zoom out that much. 15 minutes. Right. Do you remember I said to you guys I wasn't interested in looking for longs until we reclaim a certain level? Do you remember that? I've got it on my Twitter right here. Give me a second. Let's go on Twitter. Close this for a second. Where was it? BTC, XAU, BTC, BTC, shorts. A lot of shorts in it. There we go. Flip the box and we talk for longs. This box here, right here, I was talking about. If we flip this box, I said if we flip this box and hold the support, we'll talk for longs. That's what I was looking for. That was the low on the 24th. Okay, so low on the 24th, and let's use the same box itself without cheating, and we'll see what's happened. Because nothing's really changed, to be honest, in my opinion. It was still bearish. Where was it? If I draw the box, which is that, and the 24th is over here. This is the low. Now that I've worked this out now. Yeah, here we go. That's it. This is the low, right? It was this area here. So I was saying we'll flip the box. So flip the box and we hold it as support. We come up. Do we hold it as support? No, we don't, because it shows no bullish market structure for us to go for confirmation. So that was a deviation. That was the first set of deviation. Over here, we flipped the box, right? When I was looking for, remember I was playing the shorts. I was playing the shorts all the way down, and I was like looking for this level here, and then potentially here. Well, that's the first target, right? Hold this, come back up, and then we can start playing it. Did we hold the box? No, we lost it. We lost the box itself, and then that means that was another deviation. And what's happened? Come back down over here, and off we go. So it was all bearish. Everything was bearish. Nothing has changed there. Now we need to start making plans and understanding what's going on. Yeah, it does look like shit, doesn't it? Can we short ETH now? Like, Shay, just take it easy, man. Like, if you want to take a short now, you can take a short there yourself. But I haven't even made any plans. But you're asking me a question. Can we take a short? You ask me this one more time, I'm gonna have to actually mute you, because I haven't even spoken anything yet. We're just looking at views and seeing how it is for you guys to understand. Now, looking at the monthly open. So we now found support mid range. Okay, found support mid range. Can we take a short here? I wouldn't take a short. I mean, your deviation, your stop loss has to be here. It's very, very freaking wide to play it back down, right? And even then, we can still find support off mid-range. There's no sort of confirmation there. I mean, the shorts were yesterday. We're going to have some sort of a little bit of a bounce, I believe, maybe. But I would like to see how we react off this now. So see these, see this low here? There we go. That's what I'm looking for now. If price comes up, retest this area here, breaks down off this low, that's my confirmation and the stop loss off here, and I play it back to range low. Take off liquidity here, range low, and then see how we react. If you start reclaiming this level, I'll cut the trade. But ideally, if we start breaking down, right, breaking down and losing this level, the mid-range, take out this liquidity here, fill out all this inefficiency here, back into this target here, and then we're going to go to 1440 and see how we react, and potentially go to 1420 and look at, take out these liquidity right there. That's the plan for shorts there. So now what we're going to do is just wait. We're just going to wait and take things easy. There's no need for us to actually take it to be any rush. The shorts has been done yesterday. Now we just relax now. We relax and take it easy. Don't rush into anything, because if you rush into anything, you're just going to fuck yourself over. What's going on? Never traded crypto players. Bless you, man. I'm in a long since 1500 targeting Monday's high on Ethereum. What do you, brother? What do you mean? What do I think? I mean, the long is on the 1500. I think is a very good play, but I'd say watch for this. If we start losing this level over here, right, and start breaking down, cut the trade. But if we reclaim this level, we can fill out all this inefficiency. But the first resistance you're gonna find is monthly open. That's your first level that you're gonna find. Because at monthly open, we can come back and not even retest the Monday's high, but break down from Monday's high, from the monthly open and lose it. Why? Because if I were to actually delete all this, and let's extend this monthly open target over here. You see this wick over here? We didn't come into support, but price can come into this, wick off this here, fill out all this inefficiency. It has no reason for us to retest the Monday's high. It doesn't have to. And if it starts breaking down below the Monday's monthly open, cut your trade. Take your profits and walk away. That's the way how I would be looking at it for. But target one for me, really, starting taking profits, will have to be, first target will be off this low here, which it comes around approximately 1535, around that area. And then we'll start looking at monthly open. So these are the two areas I'm looking for. Then if price does come to the monthly high, happy days. Once we start breaking down, before the monthly open, that's your confirmation. And you start playing it back down to level, and then we see how we react. If we hold above it, cut the trade. But if we start losing this level, then that's your next set of targets, because we're going to fill out all this inefficiency, and I would go for profits to be here, profits to be there. That's it. Approximately we're looking at 1452, around that area. Yeah, actually I wouldn't even say this. I would extend this target here. One second. I'll just extend this target there. That's the honest truth for me. Would be extend it to this target here, and then we look at 1440, and then Monday's low. That's the plan for the shorts itself. So in terms of longs, I wouldn't long anything just yet. I can't. I mean, if I were to look at it, let's go on the 5 minutes and see what's going on. And you can see it right now. We're finding resistance of this, and you see it. Do you remember the wicks I showed you earlier on in the beginning of the show? Where I took the shorts. Seeing the same situation right here. So watch how this works. Now we got a consolidation right here. So see this low over here on the 5 minutes. There's the range band environment, right? So we had a set of deviation. We're having resistance, deviation, resistance, resistance. Okay, but at the same time we are making lower, lower highs. This is not looking good in my opinion. This is not looking good. If I were to narrow this down, right, this is how I play for a short right now. If it was to be a short. Which one? What range are you talking about, Arcliano? You're welcome, Bruce. It's all blessed. So this is the range bound environment of this candle. That's the high and that's the low. Price is range bounding over here. Okay, making lower highs. To me, it's not looking good. We're finding resistance of this itself, right? That's the key. The key that we're finding resistance of here. Now, if I were to take a short, right, I'd be wrong over here. The highs over here. That's where I'll be wrong. But if I want to wait for confirmation, break down over here, right, lose this low especially, this is your confirmation, and I'll still place my stop over here just in case, because we're still within the high of Monday's high and the mid of Monday's mid, and then I'll be looking to play it to this area here, and then see how we react, and we'll see if we can come into this area. That'll be target one, yeah. That'll be target one, and that'll be target two, and that's a quick little really a scalp trade, to be honest. Because if you look at it this way, have you not noticed this a lot? What's happened when you got like a price trend? Have you ever done this? You do a trend, right? A trend line, and you start seeing that price support, but then it start breaking down and start doing this. Have you ever seen that, right? And you're like, what the fuck's going on? But in reality, the range is over here, but the probability of us going down lower, it's still iffy, because yeah, you can have a trend line, but we can still do this, come into this, what, oh well, that's not a very good line, like that, come into this area and still break down. It can still do that, and then do this, and then that's your confirmation to play back down to lower prices. So really the key is right now is watching this on the 5 minutes. Everyone's looking for a bounce. I wouldn't be looking for longs. Me honestly, I missed the longs. Last night was the longs over here, right around the mid range, 1492, 1500, around this area here. I mean, we had a few opportunities for longs if you guys were on it. See that high? That's how, once we broke above that high, come back down, retest this area here, fill out this inefficiency right here, and then targeting this area there. That would have been a very good a trade there, in my opinion, for a scalp trade with stop loss over here. That's how I would have played it, but it was during Asia. I was actually asleep at that time. So, yeah, you can see it's turning over now. It's looking to turn over. I mean, this is the high and this is the low. I'll both go on the 1 minute. Fuck it, let's do it on 1 minute. Right, so the 1 minute, this is the high. This is the low. Is that it? No. Do you know what? This is where having these epic pen stuff, it's all cool and everything as well, but sometimes it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So I might as well just use it from here. So that's the high, and that's the low. There we go. Now I can actually look at the 1 minute. Let me see. There we go. Now it makes more sense now. So yeah, it's going. I think the mid range is approximately around here. We lost the mid range, so it's going back down. See how we react over here. We can still go range bound environment back to range higher. Very possible to do that, but you know how it is. Lose this level, off we go. Confirmation is down here, and you play it down to mid range. Looking bearish in my opinion. Doesn't look good. So keep an eye on this cruise as well. If you lose this, if we start losing this low over here, cut the trade. But do start taking profit, because this is a key area. On the smaller time frame, it's a key area. So yeah, as we say, we play from high to mid, right? Mid to low, right? So the moment we are stuck between this area here, until we reclaim this area here, you can't be looking at going for these highs and then filling out this inefficiency. So focus on this area here right now. Okay, cool. Everyone understands that? What's constant? I need to know which football team you follow before I can follow. This is the most important question. I'm a United fan. Yeah, Man U fan. The UK, I'm a big United fan. Outside the UK, I'm a huge Bayern Munich fan. In all honesty, I love and respect and have a admiration for Real Madrid, like most people would always have, and Barcelona and that kind of team. But there's something about Bayern Munich that actually really resonates with me. So I still remember the team like Robben, Ribéry. We had freaking Boateng. Fucking Boateng was a fucking beast and a half. One of the maddest defenders I've ever seen. Oliver Kahn was back in Bayern Munich back in the early days. He was against the 99 team, 1999 Champions League final against Man United. Yeah, I have a big respect for Oliver Kahn. In terms of like goalkeepers, my ranking top 3 goalkeepers in the world will be Peter Schmeichel, of course. You gotta go for Peter Schmeichel. Number 2, Oliver Kahn, and number 3, Van der Sar. That's my top three goalkeepers in the world. I wouldn't even put Buffon there. I know Buffon is here we go. Cut your trade, bro. It's not looking good. So if you enter on 1550, it's It's not looking good. See how it goes. But yeah, that's so that's the plan for ETH. Wouldn't take any longs, like I said. Really and truly, my key view is I'm looking for this, getting down, losing this low over here, and then we can play it back down to 25, and you know the plan's already been done. That's what I'm looking for ETH. Okay, everyone understands that? Any questions? Looking at Bitcoin dominance quickly before we even touch base with anything. On the hourly, Bitcoin dominance is taking out some lows, right? As you can see on the daily. Well, I didn't take any lows to be honest, but anyway, Bitcoin dominance, it's range low, reclaim the range low, and you know what it is. How is Bitcoin dominance not going to come up over here? You know what I'm saying? Like the way the price has moved down so dramatically, we're gonna reclaim this. We're gonna have to reclaim that 39.65 level. And do you remember we talked about USDT dominance? Someone was asking me like, oh yeah, was telling me about that. Well, that's what's going on. You can see it's reclaiming this level. Do you remember I said to you guys, that's the low, reclaim this level, right? And then we start going to this area, from this area, going to this area, and then go to this high. It was one of the streams that I did. It didn't look like it was going to come down, in my opinion. Most people will be focused on, okay, we're coming back down as a retest, but when you look at it this way, the market wasn't looking good for me to say this. And then like in terms of like buying alts and stuff like that, looking at ETH, there's so many factors you put in together. Like I swear to God, sometimes your mind has to run like a fucking train to actually understand what the fuck's going on. And I was saying to you guys back then that this was the bull market. This was the bull market again. For me to say, yeah, we're going to come into a bull market, we need to step back into here and play it back into mid-range for us to be the bull market. Come into potentially over here, this area there, and then see we come down to this area here. But it's a breakout, man. It's a breakout. You know, ideally I would like to retest. Would have been nice, and then do something like that. Would be all good, but it never did that. You know, it's fucking bullish. You're looking at ETH dominance. Let's have a look. ETH dominance, not fuck dominance. It's breaking down. I mean, looking a lot like EBTC to be honest, right? This highest cap in the market, right? This trend line so far is holding. Once we lose this trend line, it's over. Come into this area, bounce off here, then let's take out liquidity, come into this area, and then fill out this inefficiency right there. So it's not looking good. We are finding resistance off this area here. So you see this high? That's what's happened. It's a range bound environment right here, actually. That's a range. We're finding support off the mid-range, which is approximately around here, which just so happens to be approximately where this trend line is. So here. So I do expect some sort of reaction, loses, come back down. So it's looking shit in my opinion. It really is looking shit. So that's ETH dominance, USDT dominance, and whatnot. Let's look at dollar index. Everyone's good old friends. Everyone loves the dollar index. Everyone's calling for freaking the tops, isn't it? We've been calling the top from fucking 1999, isn't it? I think it's too many people talk shit. That's the problem. When you got people talk so much shit, it's like, yeah, the top is here, and they show this macro. Look, how many charts have you seen this, right? Let me clear this empty out. How many charts did you see this? I've saw this so many times, right? Look, end of the day, everyone's got their style, whatever, right? But they were saying that, oh yeah, this low here is macro and this is going to be resistance. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. But when you look at the freaking, you know, the moment we took out this high and broke down, right? We didn't come down and do this. That's when you'd be like, all right, then that is the top. That's when you can start saying, yeah, that was the fucking top. But the moment we come back down, retest off this low over here, and we step back into this, well then, how are you going to call this the top every single motherfucking day? Like, what are you smoking? What are you drinking or eating? Like, fucking hell, man. Like, you can't be feeding you can't be feeding people shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm feeding you guys shit. I don't know. You tell me. Am I feeding you shit? Chelsea sacked their manager, yeah. Ah, Con. Good to have you here, my brother. All the way here from Melbourne. Big love to the Australian brothers and sisters there. Yeah, awesome. Bruce, good to hear. Buffon. Buffon is an amazing goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for Buffon. However, I'll put Van der Sar above him. And I put Schmeichel and Oliver Kahn above them as well. Reason being is Peter Schmeichel. That guy was something else. He was something else. Like he had consistency. Like the consistency he had was unbelievable. Saving some of his maddest goals ever. I think with Buffon because he was Italian and he had a because the Italian how they work. They're very defensive. The strategy is be defensive at all times. Okay, so when you look at the Italians, it's strictly a defensive maneuver. It's a defensive play. The tactics is all defensive. So of course Buffon's gonna have some sort of support. I'm not nothing against the guy or whatever. I'm not shitting on the geezer, but he's gonna have a good set of line of defense right there to actually defend him and help him out, right? But when you look at people like Schmeichel and done what he's done in a team that United at the time in the 90s, early 90s, fucking United was shit. There were nothing in it. Ferguson came in, he had one goal, and he wanted to outclass Liverpool, and he did that. So bless his soul for that. And then you look at Oliver Kahn. There was something about Oliver Kahn that always attracted me. That guy he was ruthless. He was very, very ruthless. He was very, very tough. He was an arrogant shit as well at the same time. But when you're one of the best keepers in the world, you've got to put it there. And Van der Sar, come on, man, Van der Sar, Edwin, you gotta say Edwin's Edwin, man. Buffon is definitely top 5, but not for me. That's my opinion. What's going on, Ross? Good to have you here, man. Is that Rasengan, is it? Is it Crypto Rasengan? Yeah, so look, a lot of people are saying US 10Y. I think the confusion is this now. This is where everyone, I've seen this chart. I'm not here to correct anyone or whatever. And they're saying this chart here that we're going to break down and whatnot. But if you look at it this way, if the yield is going down, right, that means no one's investing. If the yield is going down, no one's investing. And look, I saw another chart of the TRB index. I think that's what I did do this in the early days. For those who actually TRBJ, TRBD, what was it again? TRB index. What was the fucking code again? It's not CRB. TRJ. That's the one. So about 2 months ago, I talked about this CRB index, right? Yo, Rasengan, bro, you waking up now, fam? 11:15. Fucking hell, fam. The market's nearly closed. I'm joking. I'm messing. What are you saying, bro? How you doing? You check my message, the Cruz. I sent you on Twitter about the potential inverse head and shoulder. Oh yes, I did. No. I'm not gonna shame no one's TA. Give me a second. I'll touch base onto what the Cruz is talking about. Been up since 6 and now you're brushing your teeth, fam. Fudge things, yeah. Mashallah. You know, I ain't gonna kill you if you walk with Fudge. You know what? You're gonna go to heaven before me. Nah, I'm messing. But bless you, my bro. I sent something like a month or two. Fucking like, you know what? A lot of people sending me DMs. I have not even messaged. Okay. Rasengan, I'll get back to you on that as well. Dude, you know what? You need to have my personal number. Because if you message me on WhatsApp, you definitely will get me. If you message me on WhatsApp, you'll definitely get me. On Telegram, I get so much DMs. On Twitter, I get so much DMs. So a lot of it just flies off my fucking head. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'll send you my mobile number later as well. So you can always keep in touch with me as well. What's going on, TCX? You good? Good to have you here, man. Smash the likes, everybody, man, because we're gonna fucking kill this. Oh, bruv, but then you can actually WhatsApp me whenever you want, bruv. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't want to disturb me. It's not like you're fucking waking me up from the middle of the night, bruv. It's just a text in it. Fucking just message me in it. It's all blessing it. I'm giving you the number for a reason, innit? Oh yes, yeah, we linked, didn't we? We linked, and that's how you got my number. Fucking dumbass. Oh, what a knob. No, not you, me. What's going on, Piotr? Morning to you, brother. Do you know what? Fan of Country Club, I have a lot of love for that geezer. He's always here, man. That geezer is something else. So, CRB index, right? Yo, Rasengan, do you know about CRB index? If you do, I want you to talk about it. If you don't, just say so you don't. It's fine. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, what I was saying is with the CRB index, right? It's like a commodity for a bunch of other. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually freaking do that. Alright, cool. Fuck it. Anyway, let's get back to the layer. Yeah, so let's just look at the CRB index and explanation. I think if I were to explain it in my top of my head, I won't be able to actually talk about it very well. So CRB index, let's see what the Investopedia says, and they have a better explanation compared to me. BTC is dumping, yeah, good on them. Give me a quick question. Sorry, give me a quick second. I'll look at BTC. So what is a commodity research bureau index? That's what CRB means. COBI. Acts as a representative indicator of totals global commodity markets. Right. It measures the aggregated price direction of various commodity sectors. This commodity index comprises of baskets of 19 commodities with 39% allocated to energy contracts, agriculture, precious metals, and industrial metals. So it's quite a big index. It's a very big one that you guys should actually be aware of as well. And it's a shame that not many people talk about it. I think it's one of those ones where people, like a lot of traders who are aware of this, will keep this in their pockets. But I'm going to give it to you guys anyway. So the key takeaways is the CRB index acts as a representative indicator of total global commodity markets. It measures the aggregated price direction of various commodity sectors and is designed to isolate and reveal the directional movement of prices in overall commodity trades. In 1986, the CRB became the most watched contract on the exchange. How the fuck are we not watching this now if in 1986 it was the most watched? You tell me. I don't fucking understand what's going on with the world today. But anyway, several brokers still support commodity index that tracks commodity price movements. Now, what happens with CRB? We want to see market symmetry. Market symmetry at the moment, for the last couple of months, right, like since the beginning of the year, we didn't have any market symmetry. Market symmetry works like this. As CRB index increases, we want to see dollar index actually decrease. What the fuck's making noise outside my yard, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So one is fucking camera. 1 second, guys. 57 minutes in. That's the normal time, isn't it? Take care, John Caboose. Good to see you, though. You have a good day, my brother. Actually, before we carry on, wait, I just want to touch base on that freaking ETH in it. How's the ETH doing? Can someone tell me how ETH is doing? Menu. And we are going to be live in. Oops. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. There you go. So yeah, 1509. Here we go. There, that's it. So we need to lose that mid range now. So we're coming down. That's cool. Yeah. So CRB index was the most watched index there was, and we're talking about market symmetry. Now, market symmetry, how this works is, so what you like to see is the CRB index go down and dollar index move in the opposite direction. Okay, remember this really well for yourself in the future, because I might not be alive in the next couple of weeks or days or months or years. I don't even know how long I'm going to be here for. So I'm passing on this information to you guys so you guys can actually use it as well. But okay, it's mainly back in the range, but hitting that mid range. Okay, cool. So we're talking about what you call it, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so market symmetry. So market symmetry, how it works is that, so you see dollar index, right? Let me write this down. So Dixie, right, should go up, and then you got CRB index will go down. That's market symmetry. And if it was to go down, the dollar index goes down, you want to see CRB goes up. That's market symmetry, okay? And that's how it works, right? However, if you were to look at dollar index, right, dollar index has been going up. It's been going all the way up since the beginning of freaking 2020, right? Pushing up. Well, actually 2021. It's been pushing up. and the CRB index has also been pushing up, which means we were not having the market symmetry, which is why the forex market, the bond market, the whole market itself was in shambles. It really was in shambles because we didn't have that symmetry going on. We are finally getting that symmetry right now, right? And let me just show you this on dollar index, okay? So you see the dollar index, right? You see from 2021, we've been going up, okay? So you would expect the CRB index to go down, right? From 2021. But if we look at the CRB index, right? CRB index, TRJ EFF, that's what it's called, CRB. Same thing, 2020, from 2020 we're going up. So from 2021, right, we should start seeing it break down. But we didn't do that. We started going up at the same time. And that's why we were not having any sort of symmetry. This is why it was been so complicated for a lot of traders. And it's been one of the hardest markets that you play. And so be it. But at the same time, which is why I was saying it over Twitter and over YouTube and whatnot, that we literally have to play it level to level. Literally level to level. There was no way, there wasn't any swing trades for us to start playing out. Now we've come into a key area on the CRB index. Let me show you. If I were to highlight this area consolidation, what the fuck is going on here? This area consolidation, right? And what's happened is you can see price consolidated, broke down, we've got a retest, we had a stop run, a deviation, come back down, we found resistance, and that's it. All this inefficiency now we're going to start filling out here. Now, if this is going to come back down, right? What do we expect? Dollar index to go back up. So as long as if the CRB is pushing downwards and we're seeing this, the dollar index going up, we got market symmetry. Market is respecting what it should be doing. And I ain't gonna lie to you, if price gets up to here, right, start breaking down, we're gonna get a lot more expensive shit going on. Metal's gonna go up, energy's gonna go up, everything's gonna go up. The whole shit is gonna get bad. Fucking send me a voice note. What the fuck is this? Oh shit, Vanessa just messaged me as well. I'm sorry, Pirate. Pirate just messaged me as well. She's just like, you remember I spoke to her, like, well, I tried to message us here. I heard you got into an accident. It's like, hi, I'm in pain, 7 fractures, woke up from induced coma yesterday. Oh, fucking hell. Guys, she was in a coma, man. 1 minute. Hey, Vanessa, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm on the stream with the guys. I've just let them know that that you had a coma yesterday. You woke up from an induced coma. I hope you're doing well. If you need anything, give me a shout. I'm more than happy to help out. And we'll all miss you on the stream. I'm just I bet you the guys are actually, I know the guys for a fact are missing you for big time. So stay safe, rest, relax, and just take things easy. And hope to see you soon. Yeah, take care of yourself. Fuck. I feel sorry for her, man. Shit. Bless her. Yeah. I know. I told her the guys are thingy, are missing you. Jesus Christ, man, bless her. But yeah, so we're looking over here. So that's the first target we'll be looking at, CRB index. And at the same time, does dollar index hit 120? You know, if dollar index hits 120, we want to see 120 break down. We want to see this support. And if this goes support, we come into this area here. And if we come into this area and start making bullishness, that's your trigger for longs. Cost of energy, metal, the lot gets a lot worse. It gets a lot worse, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. So looking at ETH quickly, 1517. Before we even touch base on fucking 1 hour, no, 15 minutes. Let's clear the levels, see what's going on. Okay, let's come back into the level. To me, it's now looking like it's going to be a resistance now. Do we take out this liquidity? Yeah, we're just about to put this liquidity out there. Come back. Come into the mid-range. Mid-range is approximately around here. Come into here. Breaks down one more time, and then you know, well, if we're coming out to the thingy, out of the range, then we're looking to lose this level of here. Resistance. Come to this area here. Target 1. Then we're looking at here. and then go back into mid-range. So that's Ethereum. So the plan's all set up there for you guys anyway. Now, Bitcoin. I want to spend a little bit of time on Bitcoin, and I want to explain to you what's going on, right? What my view is, right? So as we talked about Bitcoin, we've lost Monday's low, a massive ass motherfucking chunk, right? I was looking for something like this, take out liquidity, come into here, reclaim, and then I can start playing it level to level. And I was talking about focusing on Monday's range, break out Monday's range, we go to the mid-range, and then we're playing between this high, this low to this high, and then we start seeing for this area here, right? That's what I was looking for, but it never gave it to us. Now it is showing us proper bearish market structure. This is undeniably bearish market structure, right? We can all agree with that. Now, if we look at the 1 hour, right? Look at this. Fuck it, let's go on the full. Market structure wise, let's talk about this, okay? Let's blank everything up and let's talk about this. Market structure wise, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This was the higher high, the higher low. When we lost this, and that was the bullish market structure, right? When we started playing on the reverse, this is the high now, right? We came down, took out this low, we didn't even retest it. Then it's now becoming a lower low, right? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Can this be the lower high for us to come back into this area, to come back down? My battery died. 1 second on my phone, let me put this on charge. And let me get the chat up from here. 1 second. Live streaming. Bring this up. Right, cool. And then I just bring this over here. Bring that there. And here we go. So I can see you guys, what you guys are saying there. Okay, cool. So the market structure is actually shifted on the downside, right? We can all agree with that. Now, the key is are we going to retest this low over here to get a lower high to come back down? That's what the key is, right? We don't know just yet, right? Would you start taking longs? I wouldn't be starting taking any longs just yet, but we need to start making a range, right? So remember I said to you, price is always in a range, and if you look at this chart itself, you're like, what the fuck's the range in it? Like, if I were to draw my levels, well, we've lost the range. Originally, you got this range over here, and we got this range over here, but the fuck's this range? You're gonna use this range over here? That's what most people are thinking, and it's a bit, it can be a little bit confusing. But then this is where you go on higher time frame. Remember I said to you, price is always in a range. It's always going to be in a range no matter what time frame you're looking at, be it on the minute, the second, the hourly, the daily, the 4 hours, the freaking weekly, the monthly. It's going to be in a range. Okay. Can anyone in this chat right now tell me where do they believe the range that we're playing in right now? It could be any weekly candle, it could be any monthly or daily or whatever. Does anyone have any idea? Let's just see how much you guys have been paying attention. In the meantime, I'm gonna get some more water as well. July's monthly range. We do have a bit of a. All right, so we got July's range. We got feeding 19.6k to 17.5. That void needs some ranging. July's range. Steam is seeing the same as way. That's cool. So you're saying 17.5 to 19.6. Let's have a look at that. Let me hide all this. You're seeing 17.5, which is approximately around here, right? That low, to 19.6. 19.6 is this from here. That's what you're looking at. Is that what you're looking at, the range, is it? We got July, 27th July weekly. We got July range, but now June, we got 16.1 extension of 18.2 between 19.8. See how it's nice to see everyone actually has a view, and we got some who's actually seeing the same, and some who's actually seeing different views to everyone else, right? December 2020 range also. Okay, cool. So what I would say to you guys is that like you guys are picking out the very very good things as well. I'm not gonna disagree with any of you guys there, but really and truly, if we were to focus on this range here, what's it, Yuri, just focus on here, this area here, right? We're not looking at like previous time range. Just picking out a range, right? So I will go through. Let's go through this, okay? So we got a range here, right? We got this range here. Right, let's do that. We got that range in black. We've got let's do this one in pink. We got this range here in pink to around here. That's the range over there. Oops. Around there. Not drawn to scale exactly, but gives an idea. We've got this range here, for example. Let's see what other range we've got as well. We've got you can use this range. You can use the blue one here again to, I'd say, probably around let's pick out this high over here. That's the blue range there. What else do we have? We've got this range here, and my favorite one, which has been quite a while, I've been using it quite a while, is the weekly range. Which comes to weekly range comes around here to there, right? So we got a bunch of ranges here. We've got black, orange, blue, green, and pink. What do you guys would choose right now? If you were to choose a range right now where we're playing, and let me give you the key before you guys answer, right? Pause for a second. Before you guys answer, you're picking out where price is. You're looking at where price is currently at. Where price is currently at, where is the range you will pick to actually choose? The black range is 27 July range. I think it's usable. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. What else we got here? Bro, this seems like long to me. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. We are coming out of support, but we'll get to that in just a moment. First, before we start looking at longs and shorts and whatever, we need to pick a range. So let's pick a range now. As a team together, right? As a family, we're gonna pick a range and we're gonna work on that. Right? Got blue. Okay. Can't see the lines. Can't see the lines. Got black. Black is good. So, Derry, what I'm saying is there's a range high over here and a range low over here. From this low over here, we've got another range which is black. It's going to be quite hard to actually explain this to you guys. We've got black, black. All right, cool. What else we got? Anyone else got anything different? It's all black, is it? I'm guessing we got black and blue. Orange, we got orange. Okay. All right then. So we've got all these different kind of ranges, right? Which is all kind of perfectly fine, and I think like the black one is actually a very valid one. I'd agree with that. Orange, I want to pick orange. The reason why, if we start looking at where price is right now, we are below the orange line. This is the orange low and this is the orange high. So we can't really use this range because we lost this range as it is. So we're going to look at where the current range is. We can't use the green range. The reason why we can't use the green range, because this range here, we lost it. We're now below it. So it's in a different range now. Price is in a different range. So already you have to narrow out. Whoops. Fuck off. Already you got to narrow out. That's not right. Right here. There we go. You got to narrow out the orange range and the blue and the green range, because price is nowhere near it. We're not even here. We're now over here. So we got to focus on where the range is at. So if we start to remove the green line and the orange line, we have a few more left now. We have the blue line, right? The blue is over here. I'm using this height, and it is actually quite a valid one as well, because you can see that's acting as resistance there. And this is what I've done really is an SR. That's an SR line, right? Yeah, that's why it's probably too small. That's all right though. How's your phone, by the way, brother? So that's that. This blue line itself, right, it's perfectly fine to use. However, right, it doesn't encapsulate the data, right? So what I would pick myself, right, would be the pink line. And I explain to you why the pink line. Okay, so if you remove all this, right, remove this, there is the pink line. It sounds mad. It sounds mad, doesn't it? Because I always say to you, you want to focus on where the range is at. Keep it as tight as possible. I always say that to you, right? And then now, for the first time, I'm telling you something completely different. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Because goes against everything I've said so far. Okay? Now, let me explain to you this now. What's so special about this pink line? You guys actually picked it up as well. A lot of you guys picked it up. It just so happens to be now, when I draw it on a line, it becomes a bit confusing. It really is the July's range. That's July's range. That's July's low. Right here, that's July's low, and that's July's high. Can you see what happened? Stop run. Deviation. Does that make sense, everybody? Now, if I were to draw my ranges in properly, right, and just bring this up, here we go. Let me just bring this up. That's it. It's the same thing. That's the range. That's July's range. We talked about this before, that once we rejected and lost this, we're looking at the mid-range. From the mid-range, I said this to you about a week or 2 weeks ago. If we can reclaim and hold above it, then we can start going to 25%. But we couldn't actually reclaim it. And you see how pivotal that mid-range is? Resistance, resistance, resistance. It's all been fucking resistance. We have a trend line. We lost the trend line. We come down, come to the mid-range. The magnet in price was going to be July's range. July's low. In my opinion, Kappa talks till one of his plays works out. What do you mean? Piotr saying, dang brother, what are your thoughts on Kappa crypto prediction that 23k is still in play? Do you share similar view or think we will go lower from here? Okay, so now this is where we're going to go into this now. So he's saying 23k. What he's looking for, what Kappa's looking for is this now, right? Which makes sense, right? 23k, what he's looking for is to filling out all this inefficiency. 23k comes around here, which goes against, it goes with and against what we say, okay? If we are going to be, if dollar's going to be bullish, right? Continuously bullish, do we have a chance to come up to here? Because we know if dollar goes up, the stocks go down. And if the stocks go down, Bitcoin's going to go down. So what are the chances of this happening? To me, it's quite slim. The only way we can actually say that, yeah, this price will get filled will only be once we reclaim the mid-range. If we start holding the mid-range, then I can say, yeah, we fill out this area. So 23k, I think he's looking around there, here. Around there, 22.8k. That's what I'm looking at. That's an SR right there, right? Support and resistance. It's another range as well, if you look at it. That's a range there. Can you see that? And it just so happened that 75% of the range is the motherfucking mid-range between those two. You see how they all come together? It's all like a freaking magician kind of shit. Like, it's all magic. But I can see, only if we do this, I can see us going for target 1, right? And then target 2. Then we'll see what happens. Do we squeeze in for target 3? We'll see what happens, right? But I think we're going to get a short, if we do come to 23k, I do think we come into here, break down, and that's your next opportunity for a lower high to break down completely. So that's what we have to look at. But before we get into this area here, we can't start looking at 23k just yet, because we are traders who work on lower time frame, right? I'm personally work on lower time frame. If I were to scalp, if I were to swing trade, yes, I can agree there's a potentially that we can go to mid range, right? We always say when we work on a range, we work from the low to mid, mid to high, then high to mid, mid to low. So from low to mid, then mid to high. And then once we get to high, high to mid, mid to low. That's what we're looking at. Similar to what we've done back in using July's range. This is July's high. We came down, we took out the high itself, and we started breaking down, and all we did, back to mid, mid to low. And that's all we've done. And now, if this were to hold, right, this 18.7766 level were to hold, then yeah, we can start saying that we can go to first level, second level will be here, break above, look at the next level, which is about here, probably around here, to be honest, and then look into this area here, and then look into the mid range. And that's us playing from the low to mid. That's all we're going to focus on now. Let's not be fancy. Let's not go for 23k. I don't think 23k. I personally don't think 23k comes in the table, in my opinion. The way dollars is coming down. That's what I'm seeing personally. I don't think it's going to happen. Now this is where we need to spend a bit of time on working on this Bitcoin chart. We are not going to make any plans just yet. But look, I'm going to explain to you how the price action can actually unravel itself. Okay. So Just bear with me. Any questions? Any questions? Ask me. I'll answer them at the end of this. Okay. So just like focus here for a moment. Okay. So now we know that we are coming into June's low. We're coming to June's low. We're taking out liquidity from here. Okay. We can all agree with that. You see this low over here? See this low over here? If I want to swing trade, right, I put my stop loss here. That's my invalidation now, using the higher time frame range. My stop loss will have to be here in case we come down. If we start breaking down and find resistance, I'll have to cut it, because what will happen is we're coming down to take out this liquidity over here. That's number one. We need to be prepared for that. So which is why you have the invalidation here, because if we take out this low, well then, mate, we are going to go a lot more lower, right? Because any swing failure should have been over here. A swing failure should have been over here, and this low. If this was institutionally bullish, we should hold this level here. We can swing trade it here, right? It's not a problem, but it doesn't look good in my opinion, because dollar's going to go a lot more lower, a lot more higher, and the stocks are going to go a lot more lower. So talking about the stocks, actually, let's just touch on the stocks on ES quickly. Well, look what's happened. We can't reclaim that mid-range, 25% range. We're finding resistance of this area here, breaking down. To me, coming to this area, to me, will be target 1 for shorts here. I talked about this yesterday. That'll be target 1. And then we take out liquidity over here, come into this area, that's the second target, and then target 3. It's bearish. ES is looking bearish. It's rejected off the mid-range. We can't reclaim it. The moment you can't reclaim the mid-range, is looking bad as it is. We lost the key level over here, and it's coming down to 25%. Now we're losing 25%, come back to range low. It's looking shit. Why? Because dollar index is motherfucking bullish, mate. You know what I'm saying? If it's fucking bullish, what can you do? But that's ES. Anyway, looking at Bitcoin. So now we need to let it do its thing to establish its place. Now, if you don't want to enter in with a stop loss below the low that's over here, no problem, right? Let it do its thing, right? Let it range band in for a bit. It will establish a range. Now we have to start working level to level. Yes, we have a level over here and another level over here. But before there are SRs. So you see this low over here? That is your next target. So if you want to be on more of a conservative play, let it do its thing. The moment it breaks up and holds above it, that's your trigger, right? Because we've broken out the consolidation to target 1. That's target 1. And target 2, we'll start seeing if we can squeeze into this area here. This area of consolidation right over here. Just there. If we can squeeze into here, right, and starts breaking down, what will happen is this would be a short coming back to this area, this original consolidation, and we can see how we react off there, break down, and then lose this level, and off we go. And all this really is, that's the high, lower low, lower high. Let me do a different color pen. High, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Does that look plausible to you? That's one. That's one scenario that we can play level to level, playing it up to this, because this really is Monday's low. Monday's low is now the area that we need to start looking at. How do we react off it? If we start rejecting off Monday's low, right? If we start rejecting off Monday's low, we'll then short it back down to this area here, and then going back to range low. And then if we lose range low, shows bearishness, we got to short this back down. We're looking for an opportunity to short. It's a bear market. It's September. I've said this over and over again. September has been bearish for God knows how many years. Out of 9 years, 7 years of those of September has been bad. 2 of them has been good. Probability wise, in terms of being bearish, is on our side here. It hasn't changed. It hasn't fucking changed in my opinion. But looking at the range band environment is quite simple, right? So that's one way you're looking at short time, lower time frame kind of play. I'm still not looking for higher time frame play. Why? Because we're in a bear market. Dollar is going up, man. Dollar is so fucking bullish. How are you gonna start looking at 23k? I mean, if it goes there, I'll play the 23k if it comes up there. But I'm gonna play this level to level. That's one target. That's one view, right? That's one kind of scenario that we can play. The other scenario that we can play, the bullish play, right, is this. That's the bearish play that we can look for a retest to be bearish to go down. Now, the bullish play in respect to to the range band environment play that we play, then this is how we play it now. That's target 1. Looking at to get into Monday's high. Monday's high is approximately, I think it's around here actually. I think this is Monday's high, something along the lines of that. Whatever it is, wherever Monday's high is, then you're playing it target 2 and see how we get to Monday's high. If we start playing it within Monday's high, then what we're going to do, we play the range band game within Monday's high. This is a blueprint that I'm giving to you guys, right? So we play it within Monday's range. Play up and down, up and down, up and down for however long he wants to play, right? From low to mid, mid to high, high to mid, mid to low. That's how you're playing it, okay? Then once we start breaking out, right, we start bullishness, then you say, okay, this is now, this was just a deviation of the range, and we are in Monday's range, and we're breaking down the upside. Then we start playing it level to level. Where's my first target will be? But up to here. I would take some off here. I would take a small little portion off here. That'd be target 1, I'd say, right? And then squeezing it into target 2. That's it. And then from there, we'll see how we react. Can see if we can go into mid-range, 21,750, and then that's it. If we, again, find resistance of this area here, right? This is a consolidation over here, and it starts breaking down. Well, then what does that mean? We've come into mid-range. We are then still focusing on this range over here. Right now, I'm telling you to focus on this area here, right? Between the low to the 25% range. But if you want to look at the bigger picture, once we get above, then we start playing it between these two areas there, okay? And then we'll see how we react off there. Because if we start breaking down, what does that mean? We start shorting it back down to Monday's high, go to Monday's low, to range low, and then range low, off we go. That's another scenario. Because bear in mind, we're still in a bear market. We always have to be prepared for the bear market. Now, the 23K level, only when we come into this area here is when we can start talking about 23K level. I wouldn't start talking about it just yet. So for us to start playing the 23K level will be this, okay? So if I was to draw some SRs, so we got the first target will be here, and the second target I'd say will be around here, this area there, okay? And then the third target will be range high. So then for us to play the 23 target, we need to reclaim 21,750. Once we reclaim 21,750, shows bullishness, then that will be target 1. This is your entry there. And then target 2, filling out all this inefficiency right here, because we're filling out all this, and we've got some more inefficiency to fill out. And then we can squeeze into 23.25. Well, 23.2, let's call it 23.2. Then from there, we can see, is this bearish? Because that's a block for us to start shorting it back down. And then what Kappa was talking about, was it 16K or whatever he was talking about, or 17K? Then we can start looking at that. But I do agree that while we are here at July's low, we need to start looking how we're reacting. Because if we start breaking up, we need to play the upside. But if we start breaking down, some resistance off this low, then we start taking liquidity at 17.5K. Does that make sense to everyone else? Any questions? Yeah, we have a lot of insufficiency before we fill out 75%. We need to recapture 25% and 50%, then we can go to 75%. Agree with that. Because if you look at this, right, we've got inefficiency here. Do we not have inefficiency right here? All this? Here? Here? We have inefficiency there. We also have inefficiency above us as well. Does that mean that I'm going to start focusing on that? Right. Oops. Right here. All this, and all this. And all the way here. Does that mean I focus on to 38K? No. Not necessarily. We'll focus on the range what we're playing at. Price is in the range. Focus on the motherfucking range. Don't start looking at anything else above or below that. While we're in the range, you play the range. When we break above or below the range, then we start playing the next move. But keep it nice and simple and as strictly and lower time frame as possible. Reason why is because macro wise on a monthly, yes, we are at support. I agree with you. But also we gotta pay attention that dollar index is so fucking bullish, mate. I can't tell you how. I can't stress you that enough. Is BTC 27 June weekly range viable? Which one are you talking about? Let's have a look. I think he's talking about this one here. Oh, this range here. Is this what you're talking about? This bit here? Viable for a trade, for a retest, to be honest, in my opinion, because we know, if you look here, if this is Monday's low, sorry, if this is June's low, and we've done a stop run, and we hold above it, right? Does this, then we can start taking Monday's low and squeeze into this range, because we got inefficiency all the way here, which it does come into place of that 27 June weekly range you're talking about. So then from there we see if we reject, break it down, or do we reclaim that Monday's play. But also remember that, guys, always remember, right? What's so important about this? Why am I not focusing on 23K and all these crazy numbers? What's so important about, let's have a look. I'm trying to find it. Yep. What's so important about this? It's about here. What's important about this? Does anyone know what's important about this level here? The one that I just highlighted right now? Monthly open, exactly. Nah, I know what you're talking about, consolidation, right? That's his consolidation. Yep, you're absolutely right, Marco. But this line is the monthly open. What Yuri is saying. Shout out to Yuri on that one. So remember, below the monthly open is bearish. Above the monthly open is actually bullish. We are now below the monthly open above ETH and BTC. Oh, fucking battery playing on me. One moment, guys. There you go. Yeah. So let me get my live stream. There you go. So is that a swing failure? Which one are you talking about? Swing failure where? Here? Or here? Top or bottom? You're talking about 0.25% of the bottom. Bottom 27 weekly range. I'm getting confused, but what? But anyway, yeah. So before I actually go to the weekly range stuff that's been discussed right now, but this is the weekly. This is the monthly open. So we can well come into this area here, find resistance, tag the the monthly open, break down, and still be bearish. And it's just a bearish month. You know what I'm saying? And then we can start playing at the lower prices all the way back down to range low. Well, the consolidation, then range low, and see what happens after that. Do we break down, and then we can go for the shorts, or do we find the support of the monthly, weekly, and then carry on there? Okay, so that's one thing you got to focus on there, which is why I'm not looking at 23K or 22K or whatever the numbers that people are saying out there. I'm literally just focusing on what is at my hand right now. We are like I'm a day trader. I'm a scalpist. I don't really take swing trades that much. Like look at the ETH short I pretty much caught the top, right? But I didn't play it for long. I played it for short. It was just like short in and out. I was out, right? Quite happy to do that as well, and it is what it is. But looking at what's going on here, 0.25 of the bottom, 27 weekly range. Okay, let me go on the weekly, right? Let's see what Steam is talking about. All right, so Steam, listen, I've got the weekly range here, right? What are you talking about? Is it this range over here? Because this is the weekly range that we were using previously before, right there. Is that what the range you're talking about? Dixie on the weekly is showing bearish triple divergence scenario, but they've been talking about bearish divergence for like the past 2-3 weeks, really, for months, really. They've been talking about bearish divergences for so long. These RSIs, like I said, I don't really use RSIs. It's the 27 weekly candle. What are you talking about? What does that mean? 27 weekly candle? Oh, you mean like the freaking the candle for the 27th Oh, is that what you mean? It's my mistake. Sorry. Oh, so you're talking about this one here. You're using this one, aren't you? Is that what you're using, right? Am I right in saying that? Correct me if I'm wrong, Steam. I just want to understand what you're saying there. Crypto Cruise is talking about that. Okay, so I think Cruise and Steam is talking about that. Yeah. Okay, so you can use that range itself, right? Which is not a problem. But we have taken out the stop, and I think it's a valid range. I do think it's a valid range. So discussing about this range itself, obviously you see resistance, but we never test any support, which is why I was focusing on this one. I was using this range here because that was the initial range for consolidation. That was a deviation, and that was all support. So this range gave me more confidence to actually play this, right? Because when you're using this one, you're really using July's low. This was actually using July's low, and it's a valid range. I do think so, but it doesn't look. If I show you, if I go to daily, right? So you use this range itself from there to there, okay? So 27 to 20, yeah. So it's about around here. That's what you were using, right? But really and truly, right, when you use this, right, it's not a problem. It's absolutely fine. But when we don't have a stop run, right, because normally what happens is like when you have a range, right, it's just, yeah, when you have a range, what tends to happen is like this, okay? Price does its thing, right, sorry, price goes from low to high, does its thing, and then what tends to happen, either it does a stop run, plays within the range, goes to the mid range, and if it holds the mid range, happy days, then it's bullish. But if it loses the mid range, you're playing the lows, right? Control Z. Losing the lows, you're saying your trigger is right here, and you start playing this low here, and then you start playing for this consolidation, and then the lows here, and then you look for the deviation and step back in. Then we say that's a deviation, and that becomes a very valid range. It becomes a valid range. Why? Because price is definitely capped by this low and that high. Does that make sense? Because that's what you're looking for. So when you're using the range that you're using, the 27th, the 27th one, right? What you've got here really is July's low. So looking at July's low, which is over here, and the 27th, let's see, I think it's about, I can actually work this out. So that was, no. Where was it? Do you know what? Let me get this right. On the weekly, I'll get the numbers right. I can help you correct this. So you're using this low here, and then using this low here. So which here comes down to, what's the number? Approximately 21.5k. Delete that. Go on the daily. So yeah, this is what you're using. You're using this low here, and 21.5k, which comes to about, I think it's this high here. It's about this high here. Approximately, that's it, right? Now, when we use ranges, when you swing highs and swing lows, that's a swing low, I agree. This is a swing high, but that's not a swing high. What is a swing high? A swing high is when you've got a highest point and the next two candles on either sides are lower from this high point. Right? Can you see that? So that's a swing high. This is a swing high. The next two candles on the left and on the right are below this. That's a swing high because that candle is below this and the next candle is below it. That's a swing high. So when you're using that 27 of the range, you're not encapsulating majority of the data. You're encapsulating 2 weeks worth of data. But when I use my ranges, right, the one over here, the weekly, I've got a lot more data. I've got an extra week worth of data, and all I'm doing is this. And all I've got here is that not only have I taken a deviation, right, or not, I think it calls me a deviation. I've now got I've got this low here is now been a solid plant. Why? Because look here, support, we lost it. Whereas your low over here took me a long time for me to even come out and take out to liquidity. Because once we're breaking out this high over here, for example, right, then you're looking for breakouts, but then you like this low is actually hanging out from nowhere. It's not even July's low. You're just using and it's not even June's low, so it doesn't have significance. Higher time frame significance is when you use like key validated time frame. For example, if I use this range here, the range that I'm showing right here, this whole range, I'm using July's low, right, to July's high. But on the weekly, it looks like a wick below. But on the monthly, it's perfectly low. And on the daily, it's respected. right? Because this low will be before we entered July's low. That's one validation. Another validation that I'm using is that when I draw this line over here, for example, right? There we go. You can see that we have a deviation, support. So which ideally comes if you were to target price, right? If you were targeting prices over here, right? Because if you like, so which means, right? Which means this. This is like actually a Dance Country Club kind of freaking lesson right here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So if you were to use this, right? Let me delete everything else, and I'll break this down to you. So let me delete this as well. Actually, leave that level, right? No, let's not leave that level. Let's remove that level. So when you break out of it, right? You break out of it, and we're doing all this thing, and we come back in. Yes, it comes in support. I see that. But right here, right? If we didn't have these candles, you'd be looking at this on the weekly as bullish. You'd be looking at this weekly as bullish. Do you agree or not? Because why? Because this high is come support. So you're looking for a retest to break up higher. That's what you'd be looking for. Agree or disagree? Now, if you were to use my level, right? For example, this level here, where I use this high, to me, that was fucking bearish. Straight up bearish like a motherfucker. I wouldn't be wasting time for anything else. It's all good, Dubsolve. Good to have you, AM. Good to have you here. So already, you see the difference between your level and my level? My level was telling me I was bearish and I was playing the move back down. Your level will be looking for up. That's the difference. And what happened in the end? We went down. Does that make sense to you guys there? So when you're using a range, what you want to do, there's a few rules on ranges in it, right? Number one, you want to find out the swing highs and swing lows. That's number one. Number two, you want to capture the most data possible. My range capture an extra week of ranges. Yours capture less, right? That's number two. Number three, is the mid-range respected? Is the mid-range respected? That's number three. Number four, do we have any deviations on the upside and the downside? Because ranges always has deviations. There's always stop runs on both sides of the market before you make a decision. Once you fill out those rules, right, then you can say, yeah, this is a valid range. So if we go to these rules, right, one by one, we'll break this down a lot more in depth into the Dance Country Club, and which is why I really feel it's important for me to give you guys homework, so I can actually correct you guys into more to be more successful and more efficient in your trading. Because this range here, I'm not shitting on anyone, right? Please don't tell me, please don't think for a moment that I'm actually murking you for your ranges. No, because in actual fact, it's a learning probability for you guys. Chances are, most of the guys over here would probably pick the same range as you have, okay? And when you pick this range here, if I were to look at the daily, right? Can I actually use the daily without any disturbances? Yeah, just about, right? Anyway, it doesn't give me the fucking range properly. It just keeps, you know what? I got an idea. Delete all this. Let's go on the weekly, right? And let me just draw in these levels in. I think that's much better. So this high here, and I'm going to make that as orange because we know that's weekly range. Fuck it. You know what? Let's do it Fibonacci. Fibonacci it is. We're gonna break this down a lot more in depth now. Here we go. All right. And yes, I can agree there. Yeah, it does show me that it's the mid range is respected here. But we're gonna focus on this area here first, because looking at this now is hindsight. It's all hindsight. Everyone can say, yeah, is this. No. Back in the time, it's very different. Okay, when it was happening in real life, it's very different. So if you go on the daily, right? So you got this high. Wait, that's the fucking weird one. Oh, so the weekly close over here. Okay, so I can agree for a moment, right? So number one, is there a range? Yeah, we can agree there's a range. Number two, is the mid range respected? Yeah, we can say that's respected, right? Because you can see support resistance is going to be choppy over here. Number three, do we have, is it a swing high or swing low? Well, that's not a swing high. That's a swing low. I can agree with that. So that doesn't really encompass this properly. Number four, is there any deviation? Yeah, we've got a deviation over here, but we've got no deviation over here. So it gives me a range. I'm not disagreeing with it, but it doesn't give me a more of a solid range compared to if I were to use this one here. Delete this. And let's go to my chart weekly. Whereas this one here, yes, it's a smaller range, but however, If I were to do this high to this low here, you can see on the daily, it is a swing high. And I agree, this is not a swing low. I agree this is not a swing low, right? I can agree with that. I'm not going to disagree with you. But however, what encompasses is that we have a deviation. So it gives me more. So already out of 4, I got 3 compared to 4 compared to 2. You know what I'm saying? Out of 4, I got 2. So I got a swing high here. I don't have a swing low, but do I have a deviation? Yes, I have a deviation. I have a deviation. We find support off this low. This low was pivotal. This low was very pivotal. Resistance right here. Support right here. Come back up. Support there. Come back down to deviation. Support right here. It does take a bit of practice, right? But we can work on this level to level, okay? Work this over time. And which is what I was saying to you. If I were to look at the weekly, just looking at the weekly chart, right? You can see my range high over here, this range high, this swing high over here and swing low over here. This what is showing me is that, yeah, you can't really just say this is swing high because that's the high and that's, you know, anyway, it doesn't really matter. But my range on the weekly, I can see that we close within the Monday's high. So already I can use that this was going to be a breakout. Where if I were to use your range, for example, right? And this over here, for example, it looks like on a weekly that we've only just did a retest. So then most people, what they'll be looking for is a breakout to go on the upside. For me, I was already looking for shorts. Does that make sense there, actually? Hopefully that helps out as well. Steve, I was using range, but because we lost the bottom of that last week range, can we use the 27 range weekly June? No, I can't speak. 27 June weekly range. Look, by all means. But what I was saying to you, we only lost it recently. We only lost it last night. That range itself was holding down very, very well, right? I can show you that range low right here to here. We only lost this last night. It was holding. We had a set of deviation right there. It was holding a support. Support by sorry. Deviation, support. It was holding a support. We only lost it last night. And when we lost it from yesterday, that was it. So which you could use a 27. Dude, you don't need to say sorry, man. It's fucking, bro, this is learning, man. This is how we learn. We make mistakes and we learn. Everyone else learned something. Chances are, the thing is, what I respect about you, Steve and Cruz, is that you guys actually are putting on the questions and trying to actually figure out certain things, right? And showing me what you're seeing. Whereas everyone else is, like, I'm not shitting on everyone, don't think for a moment, but everyone else is actually sitting down trying to grasp the concept. But there's a difference between students. The students who ask questions, who picks the mind of the mentor, that's when me as a mentor actually come out and start showing you what I really fucking know. Otherwise, you're like, this guy is just chatting a lot of shit, you know, right? I don't want to come across as a guy who's just chatting a lot of shit, who thinks he understands ranges but doesn't know fuck all. He's just using his viewers for whatever he wants to use his viewers, because he ain't got fucking time and he's a bored ass motherfucker who's just like, you know, is a loser in life. But in reality, I'm trying to show you something, because if you ask me questions, I can pick it out and explain to you why I do this compared to that, which is where I'll use your system and break it down, and use my system, break it down. We can trust and compare. If I'm wrong, and I think you're absolutely right, you have more validity compared to what I have, 100%. I'll take my fucking hat off, because I make mistakes. We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. Sometimes I may have missed something compared to something that you guys have seen, but this is how we learn. Okay, so that's why I was looking at this level here, because all this was support on the daily. But when we zoom out, right, then we start using the monthly. I wouldn't use weekly. I would use monthly, because the monthly has more of a ferocious kind of meaning. As you can see, look how ferocious this is. Look how strong this is. Support, resistance at the mid range. We smash above it, hold a support, deviation, come to range high. Okay, then we have so we have resistance over here on the daily. Oh, this is deviation. Sorry, not deviation. Resistance. We shank down. We lose the mid range. Then resistance. We shank down. 25% resistance. Shank down. Range low. Which is why then I wouldn't start using weekly ranges. I'll start using the weekly range, because the monthly range. The weekly range only encompasses this little area here, from the mid from the mid range to range low, which is fine, no problem. But having the weekly range, it gives me the whole fucking story. Remember, price is a story. The price that happens, we need to unravel it in a way that we can understand the story. I need the higher time frame basis, and this is a lesson to everyone else. What's going on, SJ? How you doing, brother? And this is a lesson to everyone else. When it comes to understanding price, you need to understand the higher time frame basis. We're going to talk about that quite soon. I think that's a really important thing that we need to touch base on there. I do talk a lot about lower time frame, but I haven't really touched base on higher time frame. But we'll do that very soon. Don't worry about that. I haven't forgot about that. And we're going to actually crack on really, really hard and smash the fucking shit out of it. Bear market is just another market. We play the market as it is. Bull market is the same shit. The same shit. We just play on the upside. However, it is, you can say to me that we're late to the bear market. I don't fucking give a shit if we're late to the bear market. I've attended the fucking party. Let's go. Let's party in it. Let's do the party, right? It's like sometimes when you're invited to to a family gathering or a party or whatever, and they say dinner's at 6 in it. How many mans come at 7 o'clock? Maybe it's an Asian thing. Maybe it's an Asian thing, right? But I don't do that. But I know the Pakistanis love to do that. The Pakistanis love to come in when it's food time, and then they dip out. But how many people come in when you say our party's at 6, right? No, not many people come at 6. People come in at 7, 8 o'clock in it, right? Or people got work. But we've attended it. It doesn't really matter. The market's still there. It's the same situation there, right? So whatever you see as, to me, I personally still see is going to be a bear market for crypto. It's unanimously agreed upon. The question where the difference comes down to is where are we going to make this, where are we going to go for a high? Are we going to come into 23K, which is some people are talking about? Are we going to come to 21.6K? Or are we going to come to this area here and then shut down? We don't fucking know, but we have to follow the trail. This is where price is telling us a story. We need to follow the story, and that's why I use lower time frame to follow the story slowly. I've got my high time frame basis, which is now I'm focusing on this range over here. And as we play this, we play it level to motherfucking level. Does that make sense, everybody? Let me just follow what everyone's saying, actually. Give me a second. Let's see what's said. Divergence being played since 9th May, so RSI is the meme. But no, RSI does have a validity. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of serious traders. Like when I mean serious traders, I'm talking about people who've been in the game for quite some time, a lot more experience than I do as well. Who actually use RSIs, and they use it quite effectively, right? And it's an indicator. It's not a key. It's an indicator. What is an indicator? An indicator is something that gives us an idea that actually helps us with our bias. So if we are bearish or bullish on it, it gives us our bias. It helps us with our bias. But the price, the way the price is moving, that's the actual fact. That's your key. All these indicators, your MAs, your EMAs, SMAs, TDIs, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what it's going. Like even the volume. I know. Shout out to Asgard. He used the volume profile as well, and it's a phenomenal thing when he was showing to me. I'm like, that's fucking sick. But it's all indicators, because if we are, let's just say the RSI is bearish, right? Which is for dollar index, it's been bearish for God knows how long, right? But we're still making higher prices. We haven't had a proper breakdown. Until we have a proper breakdown, we can't really say anything. We just gotta play the market as it is. These indicators will give us an idea, but it's not gonna give us the key. It's not gonna give us a factual point. Say enter here, take a stop loss there, exit over here. It's not gonna do that. That's where you do the homework yourself. You do the work behind it to actually get you to understand it. So if you use RSIs, happy days. That's all good for you. But make sure you understand what price movement is all about. Price action tells you the whole story. Read the fucking story. So let's see what else they're saying. Okay, so what's going on, Urus? How you doing, brother? Dakoots. No, the thing is, look, if you can use indicators effectively, that's the thing is, you gotta ask yourself a question. Do I even understand what the fuck I'm doing with the indicators? That's the thing is. I ask myself that. The answer is no. Which is why I don't fucking use it. You know what I mean? But like I said, the price, the story is in the price, right? It's in the pudding. And the pudding is what we're looking at right now. Do you only wear polo? No, it's a t-shirt, bro. It's a t-shirt. But yeah, I prefer polos. Polos. You know what? If I could wear shirts every day, bro, I'll wear shirts every motherfucking day. I'm a shirt guy. So if I go out for a dinner or something like that, I won't wear polos. I'll wear a nice shirt and look good as well. But yeah, at home I'll wear a t-shirt. Sometimes polo. and stuff like that. Literally, I was doing the video for the Country Club, the introduction video. I wore my polo. You'll see. But anyway, thank you so much, Joel. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, you guys find some value of it. That's what it's all about. If you guys are understanding what I'm talking about, I'm really happy to hear that. Appreciate Jolly saying, appreciate you talking about the importance of engagement in learning, mate. New follower here. Good to have you here, Jolly Cookie Play. Hopefully, I see you around a lot more as well. It's blessed to have you here as well. Justin, yeah, I tend to forget about the larger time frame after a failed trade. I zoom out and realize I should have zoomed out first. That's the thing is, a lot of us, even myself, at first, I want to be honest, even myself, when I first was actually trading, I didn't really use the higher time frame. I didn't zoom out that much. It took me a little while, but once you get into the practice of it, into the knowledge into it, it becomes a little bit easier. If anyone's invite at 7 p.m, I'm there at 9 p.m. Fucking fan of Crypto Club. What country club, what a geezer. I guess I need to make a checklist to complete for trades and don't trade it unless boxes are checked. We'll work on that, man. We'll work on that over time. Don't worry about that. Stecky thinking BTC wipeout stops, where you said put stop losses for swing around 70.5k, then reverse back into July's range. Or why would it's very possible that we can do this, right? It's very, very possible that we take out the lows right over here, okay, and do a swing failure. But which is why, oh fucking camera, okay, I'm gonna head out soon anyway, right? Which is why, where are you? There you go. So which is why that I'm looking at this, right? Do we break down, lose this low, then I start targeting these lows over here. Once we lose this low, the next question we're going to ask ourselves is this a swing failure to come back into July's range? If it comes into this, this is your confirmation to enter the trade, playing it back up to there, as we discussed, going all the way potentially to mid-range. Okay? So that's the key thing. Would I take a trade today? I probably wouldn't, which is why I haven't really dived down into looking for trades and stuff like that, because it's just too risky. I thought today is much more better if we start making out plans and understanding how price can react to certain areas and what we're looking for and how we're going to play this level to level. Okay. Mind checking one low time frame TA. For what? What was it for? No toilet. Dude, you know what I said 5 minutes? I want to start the thing. I went toilet, bro. I went toilet. Joel saying I use RSI as a MACD when it comes to the point of entry, range and prices, the setup, story reading, the indicators are used for the final. There we go. Joel has actually nailed it on the fucking head there. You use indicator as a final confirmation. All these indicators are giving you a confirmation when you have your idea and everything sets up. It has to all set up. It's like a domino. Line it all up, right? If one of the dominoes are missing and you knock down a domino, the whole thing is not going to collapse, right? But you need to have everything in place for it to set up. Once it's set up, then it's all blessed then. So Joel got the right idea, man. Big love on that one. Today was another great session. Keep learning, keep grinding. 2024 will be our time, 100%. Bro, I think 2022, 2023 still be our time. Like I've been saying this over and over again. I'm going to say this forever. If you want to make it, now's the fucking time to put the effort into it. And you can make this. And I've seen people who make massive, massive gains in bear market. Like stupid amount of gains in the bear market. And then once in the bull market that's when you get to relax a little bit easier. Still work, but you take it a lot more easier there. Okay? I'm going to head off, guys. It has been, we're coming to the 2-hour marker there. We spent a lot of time in terms of this whole session there. Hopefully you guys have learned a lot today and found value of it and actually implement this in your future trading as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay? El Salvador just bought 400 BTC. Fucking hell, El Salvador. I think they need to hire me as their advisor, man. And I'll always tell them, I was like, yeah, this is not financial advice, but don't be buying Bitcoin, Maybe have a buy at like 10k, 11k. That's where you're going to put it in. But that's El Salvador for you. But yeah, take care, guys. Look after yourself. Really appreciate you coming here. Big love to all you guys there.